Now, I mean, is it an alternative to, I guess, focusing on the economic aspect of it while organizing? So, like creating wealth, investing, cooperative economics. Should we be engaged in any of those things to any degree at this point?
It's not a question of being engaged in any degree in those things. It's a question of what value we place on them as being as possible supportive elements to a radical or revolutionary change. So the problem that I'm trying to address in my work is that people have been intentionally convinced to argue that entrepreneurial business financial endeavors are the way to achieve liberation, equality, and freedom, as opposed to organizing for political power. And I'm trying to say that, and show that that's just not true. So in other words, if you or anyone is trying to develop a business or cooperative or an investment plan that is somehow meant to help the collective of the community, that's one thing. I might think it's not going to work, but that's one thing. The problem is that too many of us have been convinced that is an actual pathway to achieve revolutionary change, as opposed to some sort of step or stage or supplemental process. And people have, I think, misused, sometimes intentionally, uh, the mythology to say to take advantage of the situation for their own personal gain. And then to rebrand their personal gain as something that helps the collective. And that's the mythology, or the cloud I'm trying to get rid of.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I agree. I think it is a tremendous amount of focus on the economical aspect, especially in the black community. We talk a lot about money and stuff and things like that, even in the music and stuff. But like you say, maybe it may be a distraction from organizing politically, to gain
Well,
power and
it's been
liberation.
designed to be intentionally a distraction. So that's part of the history I talk about in my book, but is talked about in to a greater degree in a lot of other places, including in some of my own presentations elsewhere. But the point is that the reason there's an overemphasis on business and financial literacy and investment and banking is because of a concerted, conscious effort by those in power over many decades to convince everyone, and black people specifically, that this is what it means to be powerful and free, to be a capitalist or a petty capitalist, or to have some sort of business. But that is not what that's not the reality. And that's why we have a situation, in part, why we have a situation where black people are economically worse off today than ever. And the gap continues to grow between white and black, between rich and poor, and so on.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad you covered that, because that's how it seems sometimes. Like a lot of people, we if we get that bag, everything gonna be all right. But there's more to it than that. Definitely a lot more to it than
And
that.
sure, you could
Oh,
say if you individually get that bag, it will be okay for you. But
hmm.
to then turn around and tell everybody else that you getting the bag is good for them, that's another level of myth and abuse.